All right, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Greene. It is 10/11/2023, and we're going to deliver this very sobering message today. Go through the details of the global war now that the United States and the rest of the world is engaging in Israel. What I think is going to happen next. Please like and share, get this out to the viewing public. They describe world war and global conflict as a multi-pronged war, which is what I think we're going to have and what we have right now. There are multiple wars being fought at once now, not just in Israel, but also Ukraine. And I'm expecting that war will be engaged with Iran next and Taiwan all at the same time. This is the definition of World War III. And of course, this is what I have been warning about for going on years now. People keep asking me, Christopher, when's this world war that you keep predicting? When is it going to happen? Well, tragically, it's happening right now. And it's going to get much, much worse. We are, I believe, in day 5 of course, post the tragic events that happened in Israel. 22 U.S. citizens have been confirmed perished. Israel is forming an emergency government, and they have basically prepped themselves for a ground invasion, which will be transpiring at any time. There is already one giant American warship in the region. A second, USS Gerald Ford, is on its way. The U.S. government has promised to send munitions and funds that I don't believe we have because, again, $33 trillion in debt is never going to be repaid back. And now the American people are funding multiple wars. There's going to be a huge cost of life. This is going to be a very long, drawn-out war, and I believe it will usher in the global reset, which I've also predicted, the CBDCs, the digital currencies, and everything I've been telling you guys to get ready for. Again, none of this should be surprising because they had been telegraphing this for years. The writing was on the wall, but now they are fully ready for physical conflict, and it's exactly what we're going to get. Also, many banks are soon to be delisted from the S&P 500 and other indices. Of course, we saw multiple banks go to zero and bank runs, something I also warned about a year in advance before it happened with Silvergate, Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank, Credit Suisse Bank, billions and billions of dollars eviscerated, of course, affecting customer accounts. More of this is going to happen as they bring in the new system, and I believe Joe Biden will declare executive action in the United States of America, lock people's funds up, and what many billionaires have warned would be capital controls and financial lockdowns. Ray Dalio in particular of Bridgewater and Associates, myself, many others, Peter Schiff, the list goes on, keep warning that you will not have access to your money, and I very much believe that to be the case. So exit the banks, get out while you still can, because it's going to get worse. Also, I just wanted to point out, a friend of mine, Joel Skousen, who I respect tremendously, I think does a really great job with his work. He's so old school, and I've read all of his books, Strategic Relocation, etc. It's helped me make a lot of decisions in my past and how I positioned even things like the Island Project, prepping for what I knew would come, how to get on offense for our members, and of course my investors, and what we need to do to be successful with what's going to happen. Well, I wanted to point this out because, and I won't play the video, but I'll just tell you what he said. Joel, in a very sobering message yesterday, said that he never thinks again that we will have peace on earth, that there's just going to be constant war. And the Israeli war, which is taking place now, will culminate into the Iran war, which will culminate into Taiwan, which will culminate to what we're even seeing now with Israel on offense and playing defense, both with Lebanon and Syria. Rockets are going back and forth, basically saying that we'll never have peace again and we are in the end times now, which I completely agree with. That's just where we are. He also warns that he thinks the biggest risk, as do I, to the United States populations, of course, is highly dense cities. Get out of the cities. That's number one. Number two, you need food and water and all these kinds of things, but in addition to that, you got to be able to protect it. Also, geolocation strategies. I mean, that's why I built Island Project, because it's diversified. This is an international community. It's also digital. That gives you private ownership outside of the banks of your own money with cash flows and large capital gains. It's also being tokenized, of course, on a blockchain. But he's also warning about an EMP. He says he thinks we will have an electromagnetic pulse hit the United States, and we will only have probably 10, 15, 20 minutes at most before America's enemies drop an NUKE. Those are his own words. So that's what he thinks is going to happen next. You know, case in point, I did a great report years ago. I've, again, been on the subject for a very long time. I've been delivering all this hard-hitting and in-your-face media, helping you prep, telling you about Bitcoin under 1,000, telling you to get into Island Project, telling you to buy gold, all these kinds of things. But I shot a video, it was about 5 years ago, warning of the current events that are actually happening now. And so I just want you to listen to this. I'm going to play like 60 seconds. And you know what? Maybe I'll even put this at the club. So if you subscribe to islandprojectclub.com, I'll just include this video. But listen to this. Introduction, what's coming to America. Hey guys, I'm Christopher Greene. You're watching AMTV, Alternative Media Television. Welcome to our Ultimate Survival course. Today I will be going over the EMP threat, which I think is coming to the country in the not too distant future. I think it is the elephant in the room. I think it is the most overlooked risk that Americans are not considering, and I think that we all need to be not just prepared, but extremely prepared for what's coming. I'm going to go over a document which actually was declassified and released to the general public not too long ago. This was November 2018, last year. It's amazing that 99.99% of the human population will not even read this. And they are warning every single American, and for those of you tuning in North America, in fact, worldwide, that this is coming to the United States. This is our principal risk. And now I'll pause it there. This is where I go over all the current technologies. Now, again, no one was talking about this 5 or 6 years ago, but I had read thousands and thousands of pages of these declassified reports. All I do, you know, this is my passion in life. I study all this stuff and have contacts from all over the world. So I knew that it was all leading up to this, to the space wars, to all of these various technologies, which you can go watch this at the club if you subscribe right now at islandprojectclub.com. But I want you to keep in mind, this is why there's been so much propaganda recently with movies like Oppenheimer, because they're getting people psychologically, predictively programmed for the big one, for the big event. Now, let me explain what I think is going to happen. I think they're just going to release something tactical. And the reason is for this, they want to preserve planet Earth for themselves. Okay, those in power that are transitioning us to a new system and collapsing the old, they want to keep things hunky-dory for themselves while they run the wealth transfer, reset the system, collapse the westernized world, do all these things. They just want the fear out there that this is possible, that this is coming for more control, and this just helps them cement the new system. So I do believe that we're going to have an event like this, but it'll be very localized in nature, and it'll much be used for propaganda mostly. Let's go take a look at a map too. Just pull up Google Earth to see what we're looking at here, because this is going to be a multi-pronged World War III event. Of course, we have Israel. The ground invasion is just about to start, if it's not currently occurring, out here in the Gaza area. Absolutely tragic. We see the rest of the world pivoting against the United States, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iran, various other nations blaming the United States and Israel for the events currently happening, all, of course, locally in the region. We have the war in Ukraine, obviously, that isn't going to stop anytime soon, so that'll be continued to be funded. And then we also have Taiwan. So I'm expecting China to invade Taiwan as well, to take advantage of this current global instability. I mean, isn't that what you would do if you were America's enemies? Take advantage of the global instability while America is overspending itself and putting all of its resources in all these other parts of the world. This is the perfect time to go grid down, lights out, just like Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu cut off the lights to Gaza. I've always told you this. They bring down the grid, cut the electricity right before the invasion. So you're going to have all these wars going on at once. You're going to have Taiwan. You're going to have Iran, which the United States will be at war with. Lindsey Graham has already called for an attack of Iran's oil refineries. Mike Pence, former vice president, is calling for the second warship. So you're going to have war with Iran, Ukraine, Taiwan, and also Israel. And then you have Saudi Arabia looking over the shoulder, which used to be a friend and or ally of the United States, blaming. the United States and Israel. Here you see from the Hill, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iran say Israel is only itself to blame for the recent attacks. So massive geopolitical events are transpiring. As the U.S. announces new military aid for Ukraine, I mean, can we afford this, guys? Of course not, but that's the plan. This is a controlled demolition. Speaking with a friend earlier, you know who you are. I mean, it's a controlled burn is what they're doing. Everything is rigged. The U.S. financial system is rigged. Okay, it has been since 2008-09. They'll collapse the system very, very soon. There's going to be bank runs, capital controls, financial lockdowns, etc. Also, they're warning us to be prepped here in the States, which I encourage you to do, that something bad's going to happen here, that there's going to be conflagrating events, which I won't even go into. So make sure you're prepped for that. All things that build the narrative for what I believe is exactly what they want and exactly how they're going to reset the system. Also, too, I'll just put this out here from my sources, unless this can be confirmed otherwise. I'd asked the question if there was any kind of emergency text alert sent to the Israeli citizens during the outbreak of the invasion and attack. And I'm pretty sure there wasn't. Proving once again that all these EAS alerts, they tell you they're going to warn you. And guys, they did that for a reason, not just for Israel. That's why they ran that on 10/4, right? 10/4, 2023. But they're also getting ready to send you that SMS punch alert for the next event when the lights go out. Or, well, in that case, I won't be able to do it, or the NUKE. I did a huge story on this yesterday, but I really can't say a whole lot about it. And I'm not really allowed to speak that freely. Another reason why you should join our club. But Israeli officials are calling for Doomsday, this option. Right here, I'll keep it a little cleaner today because they didn't really like my last video, I guess, yesterday, because you're not really allowed to speak. And Israel is arming its civilians because it's all going to get worse. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. This is a multi-pronged World War III event. This is what I told you what was going to happen. This is what I've been warning you guys about for years. I've said keep your eyes on Israel. I said that there would be a giant event in early October. I told you that the emergency alert nationwide system alerts was a PSYOP. It was being run not just by the United States, but also they were running alerts in Russia on the same day. Now we're engaged in war. They collapsed the United States empire with all of its debt, reset the system. It provides the excuse. They close the banks down. Equities collapse at some point. Capital controls, financial lockdowns, digital reset. Then they have the excuse for the new system that they already had planned long in advance, which is why I built the Island Project. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I built the Island Project. You should go to islandproject.com right now. Learn about what we're doing. Build, own, tokenize, get your money out of the banks. You've got cash flows outside of the system. We professionally manage the portfolio for you. We just closed on our second multi-million-dollar property just a couple days ago. All glory to God. Learn about our Hawaii flagship Project One Founders Round, which is limited to just $33.5 million. You can never be diluted. You get a W-9 at the end of the year. We filed with regulators in July last year, and we're kicking major butt. In addition to that, congratulations. I just opened up, along with my team, our Thailand satellite. So there's going to be satellites, not just here in Hawaii, because we're decentralized around the world in various countries around the world. Again, you need a geolocation strategy right now, folks, with your money. You need to get outside of the system. I'll be announcing more locations very, very soon. You can learn about our projects. You can, of course, reach out to my father and I. Very easy to do. You can learn about us, everything that we're doing with this amazing project. And we've been ahead of it because I already knew this stuff was going to happen. Of course, very easy to contact my father. You can also go to the About section as well, read a little bit about what we have been doing, our Island Project Flagship 1. And of course, very easy to contact my father. There's his contact information directly on the website. I just want to encourage you guys, get ready now. Get outside of the system. Become a member. Join us. Join the good guys before it's too late. You've been invited to invest in Isle Chain Holdings LLC. Begin your investment. DCA, there's a 30-unit minimum to get in. You fill out a 5-minute app. It's simply that easy. Be on offense. Understand this isn't going to stop. This is what they have planned. I will, of course, keep you all up to date on this, and my prayers are with you. Jesus Christ is King. You need to get on offense now. I warned you over the weekend to get your money out of the banks, and I'm going to continue to warn that, just like I continue to warn for years about what's currently happening. Just like I warned you 5 years ago, and I said, this is going to happen next, and now it is. And I warned you about the space wars, and I warned you about the satellites in the sky, and I warned you about what happened with the lockdowns. I've warned you about all of it, folks. I warned you about the invasion of Ukraine before it happened. People laughed. They said mocking statements about it. Now we're in World War III. You're in World War III now. You're in World War III. This is a global conflict, and you need to be pivoting and playing offense right now. You need other options. You've got to get out of this system here and stop limiting yourself, okay, to just thinking that this is your only option. Learn about blockchain. Learn about our project that we're building. Learn how to get your money out of the banks in a private ecosystem. Learn about what we're doing with our parallel economy at islandproject.com. These are the solutions. It's why I built it, to give you guys a solution to the problems that we're currently seeing in the world. So become a part of the solution. Be proactive. We've been so way ahead of this curve, and I'm so blessed by not just our members and our investors all over the world. We've just broken records with our funding rates, even just in recent days. And now we're opening up new satellites. Because again, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to be playing offense. Ask me any questions in the comment box below. There's a 30-unit minimum, of course, for our fund. This is our fund investment here. Our $33.5 million offering almost closed. So, if you don't get in now, you're not going to get in. And also sign up for my club. You can just click the store, get to islandprojectclub.com. You can also book a call with me for 30 minutes. Ask me any questions, any detailed information that you need, and then watch all my private videos that I can't post here. I used to be able to say whatever I want, but I can't now because, the system, it's compromised, guys. You should also follow me on Rumble as well. You can do that. I've got more content over there, so I encourage you to do that. And also follow me on Twitter at AMTV Media. God be with you. I love you so much. Try to remain positive out there, but be positive by looking for solutions. Islandproject.com is the #1 and best solution in the world. Get in.